My name is Angujoni, and today we are talking to somebody who has traveled all the way from, she's going to tell us where. And on this channel, we just talk to people who have traveled from one country to the other. So she's going to introduce herself and tell us where she's come from.
Sure. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much for having me. I'm from India and have traveled to Australia, particularly to Newcastle to study my master's program here.
Oh, okay. This question I normally ask students like you. I assume there are lots of university in India. Why did you particularly decide to pick one in Australia?
The primary reason to select Australia was to obviously to make some savings while trying to study here, because my sister has been living here for a while.
Okay.
Like she's been living here in Australia for about 14 years. And my family were quite particular that I stayed and studied in a place where it is much more secure and I can also save a bit of my money on tuition fees. So that was one of my reasons to select Australia and University of Newcastle in particular. Yeah. Otherwise, my initial plan was to obviously study in USA. And I've planned and written a GMAT examination where I scored a decent score. And when I ended up figuring out about the universities and the tuition fees, it was exorbitant. I could not afford the tuition fees to study in USA. So with whatever little money that I could borrow from bank and the savings that I have made through work, I thought Australia would be a better fit for me to continue my master's program.
Okay, so you saved a lot of money coming to Australia.
Yes, in a way, yes.
Okay, so your sister was already here in Australia, so that would make it a bit easier for you because you already have somebody here who established, sort of.
Correct. Like, you know, like it's more than a decade that she's been living here.
Okay.
Like it's overall, I think, 17 years since she's lived in Australia. In terms of the regular struggles a student would face, all those struggles were obviously addressed for me. Like, you know, finding an accommodation, trying to buy a car, where do you you know, where do you find a car and how do you commute? Which are the places that you normally hang out if you want to take a friend or so all those questions were easily addressed for me just because my sister has lived and stayed here in the city for a while now.
So you had a big jump. In terms of language barrier, like, did you have any problem with that?
Of course I did. Of course I did. Like, you know, it is still a bit of challenge for me to sometimes understand an Australian who has thick accent. But like, you know, when I started my journey in Australia, it was really difficult to even follow any of my lecturers, any of the classes that I attended. My very first class that I attended at the university, oh my God, I could not follow a single word what the lecturer was saying. And I'm glad that they had these echo recordings at our university where I could play it over and over.
To understand,
to understand what they were saying. Like, you know, I think my first trimester, I can definitely say that I haven't understood a lot of things what my colleagues or lecturer has said. If it was a non-Australian speaker, it was much more easy for me to understand. But yeah, it was a challenge.
That was a challenge. It's a challenge to everybody who have come from overseas, especially at the university. There's that language barrier, and I think they speak very fast, and we are sort of don't understand what they say. I had that problem as well, but I think we had international student tutorial. I don't know whether they're still there, where we could go and to capture what the lecturer had said.
I think that's the eco version that I'm talking about. Like maybe they have upgraded. I'm not sure which is the year that you have studied.
That's like several years ago.
So they've now caught up with technology and they've used this echo recordings which help students who might have missed those classes and students like me from overseas who find it a bit challenging to follow what the lecturer is saying. That helps me to play it over and over. I wish they had subtitles also.
So can you just tell me day one in Australia, what happened?
Day one in Australia was very different for me because of my personal background. Like, unlike other international students, I had all my family members
Okay.
receiving me at
Yeah,
the airport.
at the airport, yeah.
Yeah,
So
they
it
were-
was just like home.
Yeah, it was just like home. I was trying to basically catch up where they were. And,
Yeah.
the reason that they were here is because of my niece who
Yeah.
was born then. And,
Yeah.
yeah, they were all here to celebrate and
Yeah.
to see my niece.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all my family members were here and received me, and it wasn't really a big struggle in the first 15 days. But
Yeah, okay.
after they left Australia, that's when I actually would count that as my first day.
Yeah, okay.
Where, I mean, like, I have an Indian driver's license and I
Yep.
drove in India,
Yep.
but to commute here in
Yep.
Australia, to buy the car
Yeah.
and even to navigate here
Yep.
was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
for
okay.
me.
Can you tell us a bit of that challenge? Because they normally say the drivers from Asia or India,
Yeah,
terrible.
I agree.
Can you explain that a
Yeah,
little
I'm
bit?
part of that crowd as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, even the smallest of the things, like, you know, you need to get your rego, and I'm thinking, like, what do you mean by rego?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a short form of registration, and
Yeah.
we usually call it license.
We call it license back in Kenya as well. Yeah.
Exactly, and you need to get your rego sorted, and you need to have XYZ thing sorted, and I'm thinking, like, honestly, it is a huge blessing for me that I had my sister with me,
Yeah, okay.
explaining all those things. Like, especially the places where I've hung out alone, like,
Yeah.
which is 90% of the times, because she has to take care of the kid and
Yeah.
also job otherwise.
Yeah.
I literally used to come back home and do a Google search what they meant.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward to, like, you know, say to the person who is talking to me that
Yeah.
I don't follow a thing that
Yeah.
you guys is talking about.
Yeah.
But yes, I used to go back home and also do a Google search. Oh, this is what they meant.
Yeah, okay,
And there is
yeah.
a CTP, there is a pink slip, if at all you're going for a
Yeah, yeah.
second-hand car
pink slip.
purchase. You know, these are the things. And, you know, I was also contemplating, should I take the first-hand car or should I go with the second-hand car?
Yeah.
So all those things were running on my mind. But at the same time, I also had the university orientation.
Yeah.
So the first day was to plan all these things, like, you know, go to the orientation, trying to find someone who has who is studying similar degree,
Yeah.
try to make some friends, and also plan how am I going to go to the university
Yeah, okay.
and know the place and know the roads.
Yeah.
Those were the things that I was planning.
Did you make friends easily?
At the university?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yeah. Explain. Can you explain, please?
It was easy to make friends with people who came from other parts of the world.
Yeah.
It was a challenge for me to even talk to a person who is an Australian at the
Yeah.
university.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe, like, you know, all those differences are very subtle.
Yeah.
They're not like, you know, yes, they would say hi, hello,
Yeah.
but to cross that barrier
Yeah.
is very challenging. But if it is an international student, like,
Yeah.
you know, if, like, my first friend was from Germany,
Yeah.
and she's from Stuttgart,
Yeah.
and her name is Barbara, Barbara Brehm. So she was my first friend at the university. So we started speaking about all the differences and all the chaos that we are experiencing
Yeah.
together. In a way, yes, she is having a similar journey.
Like yourself.
Like
yeah.
mine.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. We would talk about our own countries and our own experiences. So that made us close, like that brought us close together, like
Yeah.
closer. And we were part of the same group assignments for few courses, fortunately.
Yeah.
But eventually, yes, we were dispersed in different classes, and we had encounters with people from different backgrounds. And it was always a challenge for me to connect with a native Australian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, since you mentioned your sister was here, so it was not difficult for you to get your food from India. It was easier.
Yes, it was not difficult for me.
Yeah.
I did not miss food greatly, but you know, I still keep complaining with whatever I get, because I always try to compare the best food which my mom makes to, you know, whether it is from my sister or it is from a restaurant. I still miss my mom's.
Yeah, you still me. Yeah. So when you were in India, who decided for you to come out of India and come to Australia? Was it your decision
It
or
was
your
solely my
parents?
decision.
Okay, it was you.
It was solely my decision.
Yeah.
In fact, it took me a lot of negotiating skills
Yeah.
to make make them understand why it is important for me to get out of my country
Yeah.
and take a different career path.
Yeah.
Because I already had worked for about 6 years in India
Yeah.
when I was leaving the country and have decided to come to Australia and study my post-graduation
Okay.
course. So it was a bit challenging for me to convince my parents, my brother, my spouse, and
Yeah.
like, you know, everyone felt like, you know, why is she doing at this point of time? Like, you know, I have an established career in India. Why am I coming back, going to a country
Yeah.
which is completely new?
Yeah.
And they don't even know whether or not I will be landing into a decent career
Oh, okay.
in future. Yeah.
So your spouse is here with you, or
No.
he's back in
No,
India?
He is in India.
Okay.
He never
So
traveled with me.
he never traveled with you. So was it arranged marriage?
No.
Like they
it
do
was
in
not.
India.
Yes, they do a lot in India.
Your parents must have said, okay, before you go to India, we have a spouse here for you. Something like
Yeah,
that.
oh yeah, a ready-made,
Ready, yeah.
you know, setting that, you know, you can marry, you can, so that everything else can take care of. But
Yeah.
sadly, no, John,
Yeah.
it wasn't the case.
How come? Still, yeah.
I
Are
don't
you
know. I
you
think
don't
my-
follow Indian tradition?
Maybe my family allowed me to be a non-Indian in India, maybe. I don't know if one can say that,
Yeah.
but they are quite open-minded.
Yeah.
And yeah, I met my husband through work
Yeah.
when I was working in Standard Chartered.
Yeah.
And we got married, and it's very different to a regular Indian background
Yeah.
person. Like, you know, my parents were open to the thought that, you know, someone was interested in me and
Yeah.
wanted to marry me. They're like, okay, it's your problem now, not mine.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, wow. Yeah, they are very good parents then.
yeah, they're good parents,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, because I know the Indian traditional is they already have somebody for you, or somebody has paid a lot of dowry for you, and yeah, so
No, none of those things happened in my marriage.
Okay.
Like, my husband doesn't even speak my own regional language.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he comes from like, you know, East India.
Yeah.
Like, and I am from South India.
Yeah.
Although, like, for an outsider, it might look like it's India.
it's
Like,
India.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well,
the same
you
tradition.
have Gujarati, which connects you.
Oh, yeah, the Prime Minister. We are talking about the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
my husband is very different. They follow different culture and tradition, and his upbringing is quite different to mine.
Yeah.
He does not even speak the same language. You would be surprised, most of the time we would be speaking in English,
Yeah.
in Hindi, and sometimes in Telugu. So,
Okay.
yeah, speaking in multiple languages is common thing for
Okay.
me. So, yeah.
Okay. Have you gone back to India since you came to Australia?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Like, I used to visit at least twice
Yeah.
my country. Like, you know, I stayed with my family
Yeah.
and visited friends and stuff like that. I used to do that quite regularly until COVID happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you don't go because of COVID.
No
So
one
when
can
you go, how do you find it? How do you compare India and Australia? Can you give us a bit of the comparison?
Uh, where do I start?
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, it is very different.
How do people find you when you go back to India? Do you speak with accent? Do you
I don't
something
know.
like that?
Like,
yeah.
you should tell me whether I have an accent or not. Like, I definitely had an accent when I started here.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. But I don't know, how do I sound now? How do I come across now? I'm not sure. But when I go back to India, it is the same vibe. It is the same energy and affection that I get from my friends all the time.
Yeah.
They're a bit more interested to know my journey
Yeah.
and how easy or difficult it is to survive in Australia. Because I have, like, in a way, this struggle is alone as well.
Yeah.
Although I have that cushion provided
Yeah.
by my family, but still, whether if you have to build a career or if you want to complete your master's degree and make your own friends, it is still my own journey. So my friends are interested to know
that journey?
how that journey would be. Like, you know, if their siblings or someone that they know closely want to study,
Yeah.
they would often direct me, like, they would often direct them to me to ask those questions. And I think it is one's personal journey, really. Like, you know, no one can tell you, almost plan like do this and you'll be successful in that. No, it doesn't happen that way.
Okay.
One thing that might be helpful for everyone is if you're honest and if you are sincere in your efforts to complete your degree, and if you would want to land in a decent position, like in terms of career, I'm sure Australia has multiple options. I mean, a lot of options, and there are good people here who will navigate you to those choices.
Okay. So maybe just if you want to talk to the student who are in India and they want to come here, what would you advise them?
I
Starting from getting the visa, picking a university, and coming
I
here.
think a bit of planning,
Yeah.
pre-planning would really be helpful, because most of the students, through my career also, I
Yep.
did interact a lot of students
Yep.
who have asked me similar questions.
Yep.
I think a bit of pre-planning will definitely help them
Yep.
to, plan for the things. When do they want to start their degree?
Yeah.
Because if it is a similar situation as mine, I was working until the last, up until December 31st was my relieving time,
Yeah.
and I came to Australia on Jan 15th. So I was working until December 31st in
Yeah.
the company.
Yeah.
So it was extremely important for me to plan that time so that I
Okay.
don't waste anything in between.
Okay.
But if they're not employed and if they have time in their hands, I think they can plan when do they want to start their studies and where do they want to start. If it is the University of Newcastle or some other university, go and have a look. If it is a degree which will complement your work experience, or is it going to be a degree where you'll have to start all the way fresh? And what are the career outcomes that you might want to land up in?
Yep.
And there is enough information available on internet to check what is an average salary one can expect, what are the career outcomes one can expect by completing a particular degree.
Yeah.
Most of the time what happens is students don't do that bit of research. They usually go back and try to, they are more interested in finding out part-time jobs rather than landing in a full-time positions. I think trying to invest your time and energy to plan for a long-term career is much better than planning for part-time jobs. Part-time jobs, I think you can find it very easily.
It's very easy to find. Have you done any part-time job
Yes,
here?
I did.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I did.
Did you work in a petrol station?
No. See, that's what I keep telling. I'm sorry I did not work in the petrol station.
Okay,
I did work in a mobile accessory store, doing some repairs and stuff. But otherwise, I've worked I think soon after 2 months, I was lucky enough to find an casual employment at the university.
Okay.
So before that, that's when the time I'm talking about, mobile accessory store.
Okay.
Sometimes whenever I had my time, more time to where the 20 working hours were not, were not occupied by my casual employment at the university. That is when I used to go for other jobs and do that. It basically gives me money to take care of the regular expenses in Australia. So yes, I did work.
Okay. Has your spouse come to Australia?
Yes, he's visited once.
Yeah.
Yeah, once. Yeah, definitely once.
Did you have you
Couple of years
traveled?
ago.
Did you travel with him around Australia? And if yes, where did you go?
No, John, I did not travel around Australia. His trip was very short and brief. And we ended up, I wanted him to meet my friends, and he really did not have too much time on his hands either.
Okay.
He's a busy man, so he's gone back to his job. But I think he was here for a week or 10 days.
Okay.
And he enjoyed going around Newcastle, exploring new places. We've been to Sydney as well.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he liked tasting different beers. And,
Okay.
he liked the best part, the
He's
best
a good man. If he can
experience.
drink beer like me,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, if you ask him about Australia, all he can talk about is about beers, I believe. Yeah. He was so fascinated that there were so many different flavors of beer available in Australia.
Okay. So if you were just advising students from here, Australia, who want to go to India, what can you tell them? Where can they go? What can they see in India?
It really depends. depends. India
Yeah.
is very vast and
Yeah.
very diverse. Like,
Yeah.
there are only 23 national languages in India.
Okay,
So
yeah, that's a lot.
exactly. So it depends. Like, if someone wants to go and study at a university, and because there are so many colleges in India,
Yeah.
and all these colleges categorized according to like whether they are good in engineering education, whether
Yeah.
they are good in medical education. So it really depends what is the type of background that student is seeking to go and study in India. So depending on that, there are institutions available all across the country. But if someone is traveling to India purely to see the country and
Yeah, like a tourist.
like a tourist,
Yeah.
yeah. There are different destinations really. Like, you can go to Kerala, which is in South India.
Yeah.
You can enjoy the backwaters and it is covered with greenery all over. So you'd find a lot of wild animals as well on the
Okay.
roads, like when you travel to Kerala. So that's a different experience. But when you go to Goa, which is like a bit of Newcastle, which has a beach backdrop, and you can find all those parties happening. There are
Yep.
like, there'll be music bands which would come and play there. And even on New Year's, there are so many there would be so many international artists playing in sunburn events or in New Year's events. So Goa has that backdrop. But if you're a bit more spiritual, you can go to Varanasi.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you are willing to experience the tea plantation, you can go to Darjeeling. And Jaipur has many forts. Like there's Amritsar, there's Taj Mahal. There are so many places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you worked in Bollywood?
Bollywood? No. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Bollywood movies.
Yeah.
No, not even close. Like the closest that I can get, the closest experience that I have
Yeah.
of Bollywood is working with a Bollywood actress because when I was working in Vodafone,
Yeah.
I was handling this high value segment portfolio, which
Yeah.
comprised of a lot of actors and actresses, television celebrities, and also cricketers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the closest experience that I have with Bollywood.
Yeah, I like cricket. Yeah, I watch lots of cricket.
Yeah, and if you know Deepika Padukone, she is a famous Bollywood actress.
Yeah.
I used to handle her account and her parents' accounts.
Oh, okay.
So that's it. And for cricketers,
Yeah.
I used to handle Rahul Dravid, Javgal Srinath's
Oh, okay.
accounts as well. Yeah,
Do they have a lot of money?
I think so. They're bills.
If you're handling their account,
They're unlike a bank. I would only be seeing their mobile bills, which ran into thousands of dollars each month. Sometimes $2,000 for a month.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they have money.
yeah, I'm sure they have lots of money.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, now we've really captured a lot of stuff and it's very interesting, your journey to Australia. Yeah, would you stay in Australia or you go back to India when you finish your education?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Like, I finished my education, like I said, I finished my education a long time ago and have been working with the university since. Like if you asked me this question a couple of years ago, my answer would be different.
Yeah.
Like, I would say like, yes, of course I want to go back to India.
Yeah, okay.
Like even today I want to go back to India, but I might take some more time before I go back to India.
Would your spouse want to come to join you here?
I don't know, like, because
Have you asked him?
yes, I did ask him, and I think he has a good career as well back home. So I'll really leave it to him. It would be fair to say that asking him to compromise his career and come and join me.
You can find a good career here as well.
I think so. Like I said, I'll leave it to him. If he's interested, I'm sure he will come and live with me.
India is just like Africa. The men decide. It's not a woman's choice, it's a man's choice to decide what happens in the family. Is that right?
Yeah, in all families, maybe not mine.
It sounds very different.
I think it's not different, it's just evolution, like trying to tell that both the partners have equal say in the relationship. That's what I want to say, that, if I'm giving that, if I'm giving that room to say, that yes, he has equal voice
Yeah.
and can choose whether or not he wants to come to Australia. I think it is only fair
Yep.
to expect the same things to happen for me.
Oh, well, you live in another century, not like, yeah. Well, in my house, my wife decides what to do a lot of the time.
I like that. I like that idea.
I only chip in when she's, yeah, she asks, but already she's already made a decision.
So did
Yeah.
she decide that you guys will stay in Australia?
Well, when I came, I was not married, so I got married
okay.
here.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
got married to an Aussie lady who, you know, they decide everything for you.
Awesome. That's very interesting. Maybe someday I'll do your interview.
Yeah, I would like you to do my interviews. I can tell you all
sure.
my journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah. Are you going to start a channel soon? That's what you
No, maybe I'll take some input from you
Yeah.
and my friend Alex Morris,
Yeah.
like, you know, who might help me with doing something interesting like you are
Okay.
doing.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Bhavna, for talking to me in my channel. Your journey is very interesting, and I'm sure people who have watched this video are going to get some education about
Oh, I'm
coming,
not sure about that, John,
about
but thank you so
coming
much.
to Australia and picking a career like yours.
Yeah, like I said, like, you know, if anyone is serious about their career, I'm sure Australia has so many options and the people are so warm. Like, if I can do it, I'm sure anyone can do it. Anyone who has had a bit of interest in completing their master's program and who wants to have a full-fledged career here,
Yep.
there are enough options and there are enough people to support you to make that happen. So,
Okay.
yes. But thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good day.
You too.
Ta.